Hey, welcome back to my channel. So for today's video, we are doing a Shop My Stash / Chatty Get Ready With Me. It's been a very long time since I've uploaded, probably 7 or 8 months, which is honestly forever in YouTube time. So if you're watching, thank you. I'm sorry it's been so long, but I'm excited to get back at it, to film a video, to upload, to play with makeup, and just have a little bit of fun. So that's what I'm doing today. If that sounds interesting, just hang tight. We're gonna get into the video. Okay, let's start off over here with my primers. This is a makeup step that I usually use the same item. I say it in every video. Good for oily skin, keeping your makeup matte. So I don't want to do that today. Obviously, I use it every day. What have I not used in a while? I really don't have a lot in here anymore. I've really narrowed it down. Oh, also, and this is going to be a disaster, I pulled my everyday makeup drawer a few months ago and I filmed it for you and then I didn't finish editing and uploading. Matter of fact, I think it's edited. I just didn't upload it. So these are the items that I had pulled during that process. Maybe I should pull one of these primers instead. I've got like one pump left of this Hourglass Veil Vanish primer. This is such an amazing primer. I'm kind of sad to use the last little bit, but otherwise, why am I hanging on to it? So let's just go ahead and pull that and we'll finish that bottle up today. So I guess I can shut this drawer then. Moving down to concealers and skin tints and all the other odds and ends that are in this drawer. I'm gonna save this for another day. I just changed my mind. I just realized that I had gotten this. I don't know if this was a sample or if I picked this as like a points thing from Sephora. I have no clue. But it's their Pore Vanishing Photo Finish Primer, and I've yet to use this at all. So I'm going to actually give that a try. I'd like to know how it works. One more thing I'm going to pull from my everyday makeup drawer, because I haven't used it yet during my everyday makeup, is this Yenza Under Eye Primer or Corrector. Let's go ahead and do that. I usually use the Becca Under Eye. If you've been here for a while, you know that. And I feel like I've used that Yenza one maybe once, so we'll pull that instead of the Becca today. I don't want to use a skin tint today. That's normally what I use on an everyday basis now. I've become pretty minimal in terms of like not using a heavy foundation. Although honestly, these skin tints nowadays are pretty full coverage. I can get a really decent medium to full coverage look, but I don't want to use a skin tint today because I use these every day. No, I'm going to actually stay out of that section and choose, I think I'm going to go old school foundation today. Really narrowed down my concealers. I have a couple favorites that I gravitate towards, but other than that, I mean, there's really not a ton in here anymore. Okay, we're gonna pull the Estee Lauder Double Wear and the NARS Radiant Creamy. The NARS I use every time I do my makeup. I like to use it as a mixer though. It's my absolute favorite. The Estee Lauder, I haven't really gotten a lot of use out of this. I feel like it was really heavy the last time I used it. Maybe if I mix the two, it won't be as bad. Let's get out of that drawer. Powder. This is everything. If you haven't found the Huda Beauty powder, if you haven't used this before and you're oily or you want your makeup to look flawless, this is it. But we're not going to use her today because we use that every single day. Okay, this is tough. I purchased this from the Ipsy website, I believe, and I got it at a decent deal, and I've used it once. This is the Huda Beauty Easy Bake and Snatch Pressed Powder. I have mine in Peach Pie, so it's a little bit peachy. Probably not the right shade. I would have preferred translucent, but anyway, that's what I have. So I'm going to attempt to use that. I'm also going to pull from my everyday makeup drawer the Dior Backstage Face and Body Powder No Powder. Let's pull that as well. And between the two, we'll try to make those work. No promises. I don't typically prefer a pressed powder. I like loose powder for setting, but you know. Oh, by the way, I've gone through countless eyelash curlers over the course of my, 42 years, and nothing stacks up to this Shiseido one. I've heard so many people talk about this, and I always thought, okay, it's an eyelash curler. Like, these people are exaggerating. They are not. It's pricey, very pricey, and I hope it lasts me a long time, but this thing keeps my lashes curled all day. So just throwing that out there. If you haven't taken the leap on that mug yet, you might want to. So I'm back to like pasty, I had a little tan there for a while because it was summertime. Not anymore. I'm back to semi-translucent. So this is what I had originally pulled from my everyday makeup drawer back when I was still tan. I had pulled my Charlotte Tilbury bronzer. I think that's in shade 2. Yeah, anyway, I don't think that's going to work for me now. Matter of fact, I don't think any of these bronzers are going to work. We'll try to pick from this disaster here. Something I do want to grab, though, is this contour from KVD. I don't even know if this is still available. It's their ModCon Liquid Contour. It's a gel-based product, but I love the tone of this. I love that product, and I've purchased multiple, so I'm gonna pull that. I've used it recently for a couple things and really fell back in love with it, so that is why I'm pulling that. Let me just say this too. If you all have been on this makeup journey with me, you'll know that there was a time where I was buying so many products. I mean, obviously, you can tell that's what was happening. And I've finally gotten to a place where I'm not really doing that anymore. I'm using what I have. So I've got a lot of pan and a lot of products. Well, I don't know about a lot, but I mean, more than I ever had before. Like, look at that. I never understood the panning community. I'm not trying to sound like an asshole, but I liked to try new things. So I never had pan. But for someone that, you know, bought a lot of stuff and is actually getting use out of it, like, that makes me pretty happy. I don't know which one of these it is. I'm just showing you because I'm, you know, bragging now. Like, look at all that. So, yeah, pretty proud of myself for using what I have and saving a little bit of money. Okay, I know this is like a separate drawer, but this is where I keep my highlighting palettes, blush palettes, bronzer palettes, face palettes, right? This is the Charlotte Tilbury face palette. I haven't used it in a while, and I love their bronzer and, well, I love them all. But the bronzer and contour shades in here are money. So let's pull that. And I'm probably going to supplement that with something. So many good ones in here. Like, I was on the quest to find the perfect bronzer shade. Doesn't exist, by the way. At least I've had a hard time finding it. So actually, let's pull Fenty Beauty's Into Sun. Haven't used that in a while. And yeah, we can jump out of that drawer now. Oh, blushes. One of my favorite drawers, one of my favorite makeup items. Don't come for me, okay? Yes, I know my collection is an absolute mess right now. Haven't really had time to fool with that, cleaning it up. So this is raw, this is real life, this is what you get. I love my Glow Play blushes. They're one of my favorite blush formulas. You've been using them a lot since they've been in my makeup drawer. Do I want to use one of those? I really don't know what kind of eye look I'm going for because that helps to dictate the blush. I don't want to use like a warm eye look with a cool tone blush because it kind of clashes a little bit. Okay, this is what I'll do. Let's pull this. This is the e.l.f. Camo Blush in Berry Well. Really beautiful blush. Let's pull that. I'm gonna pull a few just because I'm not really sure. Like, I actually have pan in this Bare Minerals bronzer. So good. This one's in Kiss of Rose. I love that one. The fact that I have pan in any blush should tell you how much I love it, because there's not many that I do. I know I have pan in this one from NARS. I've had this for a long time. The Orgasm blush, because it's gorgeous. Let's circle back to blush, because again, I don't really know what kind of eye look I'm doing, so it makes it a little difficult to pick out a blush. Ooh, highlighter. Is highlighter making a comeback? Did it ever go away? There for a while I wasn't really using highlighter, but God, it's so good. Like, it just does something special to the face. And I've got a shit ton of them, so I might as well be using them, right? Okay, I'm gonna pull Star Surfer from Kaleidos. This one is like a iridescent pink. Really beautiful. Kind of hard to see since I've stabbed it in the pan. But yeah, really pretty. And then if I don't do something that's pink toned or that would go with this, let's also pull Ray Rider. The Kaleidos highlighters are so good. Again, don't know if they still sell this. You'll have to remember that when watching my videos, because some of these products are a little old. I'm not ashamed, okay? I'm still going to use them. So I don't know if all of them are still available, but this one is more of a champagne neutral kind of highlighter. So let's pull both of those since I don't really know what look I'm going for yet. Oh, geez. Every time I come to this drawer, this is my sample drawer. And when I tell you it's overwhelming and I just keep shoving shit in here and shutting the drawer because I don't know what to do with it. It's like obligatory at this point. I have to just shut the drawer. Yeah, this is another drawer that's gotten out of control. I'm not the only one that uses my vanity now. My 17-year-old daughter also uses my vanity, and this is where we are. I mean, how many Benefit roller lashes do we need? And I'm pretty sure I have a backup in here, so that just tells you how much I love it. One that I've been really loving here lately, and I'm going to use it today to show you, is the e.l.f. Lash Extender. This is a little miniature version that I got probably as like a sample, like a free item. This is so good. It is a tubing mascara, so it doesn't like rub off or run or, smudge, nothing like that. And it really does extend your lashes. Like, it is so good. So I'm probably going to get the full-size version of this. I love that. I'll show you just how good it is when I do my face. And I've already pulled the Shiseido Lash Curler. So what are we missing then? What are we missing? I've got primer. We need foundation. Duh. So my foundation turntable. Let's get this stuff out of the way. It is filthy, okay, so FYI. I got away from doing like a cocktail of foundations for my base because I use skin tints now, mainly. So maybe we'll go old school and we'll do a cocktail. How do you feel about that? I need to go through and declutter this again because there's stuff on here that should not be touching my face. Okay, really taking it back old school. I've got it. I'm going to pull NARS Radiant Longwear. Mont Blanc is the shade. I'm going to pull Estee Lauder Double Wear. I'm going to pull the Hourglass Ambient Soft Glow Foundation, and I'm also going to pull e.l.f.'s Soft Glam Satin Foundation. We're going to do a little mixy. And I'm probably going to have to throw in some of my LA Girl Blue pigment to make it more cool toned. I've decided for the eye look. I pulled these 3 palettes during a Shop My Stash last year. And I don't think I've used any of them still because I very, very, very seldom do eyeshadow now. I'm forcing myself to use these during this video because you know what? They're stunning and beautiful. Like, look at this from Gourmand Girls. I love this color story. I'm thinking a green look since I have a green shirt on. We can use that. I can even incorporate some of the sultry, some of the neutral tones for my crease. I can incorporate something from the Blend Buddy Sugar and Grunge. That's what we're doing. We are going to use all 3. Do I have everything for a makeup look? We need a blush. So if I'm doing a green look, and let me just show you I don't know if you can really see the color green. It's like a hunter green. So I'm thinking more of actually this berry shade would be nice, but I'm going to need a powder blush to top it off with. So something that's more cool toned than warm, but brighter, like a berry brighter, you know what I mean. Something a little deep, like this is too muted, that's too warm. Trying to think if one pops in my head. You know what? That might be the one. This is from MAC, and this is Love Thing. I'm thinking, throw this down before powder, and then after everything's powdered, I can top it off. I just see how it's kind of muted compared to that. I was trying to find something that wasn't exactly muted, but it's okay. We're going to roll with it, and if I don't like it, I can always add something on top, but I think that's the look. We're going to start off with the Smashbox Pore Vanishing Photo Finish Primer. Again, this is a little mini size that I got. I believe I got it with points from Sephora, but I could be wrong. I just wanted to try it out, and I haven't done that yet, so that's what we're going to do as my base. I'm nervous because it's very silicone-based, and normally I use their mattifying version of this, and it looks very slippy, but it's going to be okay. It's going to be all right. So what is new with you all? I'm sure a lot. A lot happens in, 7 or 8 months, right? I know a lot has happened here. You all will have to let me know down below what's going on in your lives. I'll try to update you as best I can what's been happening in my life. I made a little list of things to chat about just because, again, it's been so long. The last time I uploaded this feels really, really slippy, by the way. I'm hoping that my foundations will play nicely with this. We're going to find out. The last time I uploaded, I think, was back last June. Oh my gosh, I just feel like a lot has happened. Because it has. My daughter just got home from school, so let's see if she pokes her head in here. I can hear her down there singing. My daughter is 17, by the way. I've had her here on my channel, and she was much younger in those videos because I've been filming for a long time. So she doesn't really make an appearance on my channel anymore, and neither do I, for that matter. So, yeah, I just don't feel like this did a whole lot. I mean, it's a little smoothing, I guess, a little bit. Pore vanishing. I don't know if I'd say all that. By the way, I also pulled the ColourPop How the Grinch Stole Christmas. I know I showed you the 3 palettes that I'm going to be using. I pulled this too because I haven't used this at all. And I bought it, before Christmas time. I mean, things feel smooth, but I don't really think it did anything for the pores, which is why I don't use this. Yeah, no, my pores are still there. I mean, I'm 42, so those aren't disappearing no matter how much primer I put on. The next thing I pulled was the Yenza Super Bright Serum Silk Under Eye Corrector. Now, this one's not quite as creamy as my Becca Under Eye. It's a little drier, so I'm a little worried because I don't want my under eyes to look you know, dry and old and tired. So I'm going to really warm it up with my finger so it's kind of melty, you know? It's pretty much the same tone as the Becca Under Eye. It's just a much different consistency. Let's hope that this works. Anyway, what has been happening in my life? If anyone's really interested, I filmed my last video, or uploaded my last video, I think in like June, and we went on a family vacation to Myrtle Beach, which is in South Carolina. We stayed at the Renaissance Towers, which is a big resort that is sandwiched in between two RV camps, okay? Didn't know that when we booked the vacation. Not that it really mattered. It just means there was a lot of people in that area. The vacation itself was awesome. Like, I had a really good time with my family. We were missing my middle child, which really sucked. I would have loved if he would have gone, but I get it. You know, he's grown and doing his own thing, so he didn't make it. But me, my daughter, my oldest son, and my boyfriend went, and we had a really nice time. Getting there was a bitch, so as I said, it's sandwiched in between two RV parks. So when you get there, check-in is pretty much the same for everybody. Everyone checks in on, I think it was Sunday and leaves Saturday or whatever. So the traffic going in, when I tell you my anxiety was on a 10, especially given, I mean, that looks nice. It brightens it up. It doesn't really hide the purple as much as the Becca Under Eye Corrector, but I think it did a good job. I just hope that the other products play nicely on top of it, because it's not quite as creamy. So my boyfriend had been to this vacation spot before, so he knew exactly where he was going, and then like getting into the resort looked like, because there's one major entrance into the resort and into these RV parks. So if everyone's checking in by 4 p.m., just imagine, okay? I can't remember how many spots like the RV park on the right had, 20, 200. It was nuts. It's huge. I'll try to insert a picture to give you an idea of what I'm talking about. But anyway, getting in there I was so afraid I was going to lose him and he was going to get ahead of me and I wasn't going to know where to go, because there's nothing telling me where to go. So when I tell you I was so stressed out, I was stressing him out. I'm sure I was stressing my daughter out because she was in the car with me. We were in this long line of traffic. While I'm talking, I'm going to start mixing together these foundations that I pulled. So yeah, we are sitting in this long line of traffic, and I'm telling you, the way it's set up is asinine. There is a light, and then it's a divided highway, so you've got two or three lanes on each side, and then where we were coming from, you had to take a left to get into the resort. And again, these RV parks are right on the sides of this, so everyone's trying to get in this one way. And then on the side where the resort is, there's like a side roads that you can also pull in from, that people are trying to get in and they're cutting people off. And when I tell you, it was a lot. And again, I was so afraid I was going to lose him and I wasn't going to know where to go. And it was just causing me so much stress. So we're sitting there at this red light. Well, first of all, we had gone up and tried to come back the other way. No, we didn't. We were sitting at this red light, and we weren't really going anywhere. And I just pulled out, and there was a Walmart on the side road next to us, and I just pulled out and went to Walmart. And he calls me. He's like, "Where are you going?" I'm like, "I can't do it. I've got to get out of this line of traffic." So we went to Walmart. I mean, we had to go anyway. We had to get our food for the week, or at least for the night. So we ended up doing that at that time. And finally, when I was a little bit calmer, we tried again, and it was still a nightmare, okay? It was still a nightmare. I had to cut like 4 or 5 people off to stay right behind him. People were trying to cut me off. Thought we were going to get an accident. Like, it was a whole thing. And then, of course, on the entire way down there, I just wanted to remain, you know, with him in front of me. I'm following behind. So I was afraid we were going to lose each other. I kept trying not to let cars in front of me, which, again, people are cutting you off because they're assholes. So it was just a whole thing, and I will probably never do that again. I will never be in a position where I have to follow somebody that closely, because it's very, very stressful. And it was an 8-hour drive, so it's 8 hours of me doing that. And then all topped off, you know, with us getting there finally, and then me terrified that I'm going to lose him and not know where the hell I'm going. So, and it was just so busy. I mean, so busy. Not very good in terms of the way they have that set up. Whoever decided that, in terms of like how to get into these parks and how close all of it, should be fired. They should be fired. But once we got there, it was a really good time. It's right on the beach, so you can walk right out to the beach, and Yeah, we had a really good time. So I'll insert some pictures so you can see. We went to a medieval times dinner and watched like the jousting and the horses and the whole show. It's the first time I've ever been to anything like that. So that was a lot of fun. I'm going to start applying this. Otherwise, I'm just going to be talking the whole time. And, you know, this video is going to be 3 hours long. And I don't want that. And I know y'all don't want that. So let me get this on really quick. And then we'll keep talking. This is harder than people think. Doing makeup and talking at the same time. I don't really have the coordination for that. Plus, I'm wildly out of practice. So I'm trying to think what else. Did we do anything else while we were there? I mean, we just spent a lot of time at the beach. When I go to the beach, that's what I want to do. You know, I don't have to do anything fancy. I just want to enjoy being on the beach, getting sun, relaxing. And I feel like we accomplished that. We had a really good time. At least I know I did. And I'm pretty sure the kids had a good time too. They seemed like they did. And we ended up renting our condo in the resort from, was it VRBO? Which I had never done that before, so I was a little nervous on, you know, if it was going to be nice or if we were going to have any issues, and we didn't have any issues. Would do it again. So again, we did that. I think we did that in, was it August? When did we do that? July? That's terrible. I can't remember. My memory's not great. And then what else? See, this is why I wrote notes so I could reference, because recapping 7 or 8 months is difficult, especially when you have the memory of a flea. This is looking really nice, by the way. I was nervous about putting this foundation over top of that primer, but so far so good. Not bad. And I don't really wear, as I said when I was doing my Shop My Stash, I don't wear full coverage foundation much anymore because it accentuates all your fine lines and wrinkles, you know, especially if it's drying. And I need something that's not really dewy just because I'm so oily. So I don't wear the full coverage that much anymore. But I still have a lot of full coverage foundations because I bought a ton. So I like to use them on occasion. You know, if I need to have long wearing makeup on, it's a good time to use it. And while I'm chatting, we're also going to do concealer, as I pulled the NARS Radiant Creamy and the Double Wear from Estee Lauder. I have 0.5C in the Estee Lauder Double Wear, and I've got Light 1 Chantilly in the NARS. Let's see, what else did we do? We like to go travel. We like to see things. We like experiences. It's just kind of what me and my partner do. I think that looks really nice. Oh, that doesn't look very nice. See, that's the downside to like full coverage foundation. I'm gonna have to try to fix that because no ma'am. I don't know why that side looks so bad. I thought this was supposed to be pore vanishing Smashbox. Maybe I just didn't put foundation there. We won't blame the primer right away. Let's see. That's much better. My bad, Smashbox. It was me. User error. I think for areas like this, it's best with a sponge. Doing it with a brush, it's just, you know, gave me some accentuated pores. So anyway, moving on. We went to Florida in September, I believe. And my partner's daughter, adult daughter, lives in Florida. So we try to make it a point to go see her, at least, you know, once a year. So we had originally planned on being down there to spend some time with her and her boyfriend. But the same week that we chose to go see them, they were going to be in Japan visiting her partner's family or mom. So she allowed us to stay in her place while we were down there, which was really awesome. Or at least half the time we were down there. We ended up getting was it a 3 or 4 night stay at a Holiday Inn because they had messed up one of our earlier reservations. Well, no, they didn't mess up. Somebody actually hacked my partner's IHG account. And we went to New York earlier in the year, and it was like a whole thing. They canceled our trip, the hackers did, and booked another trip somewhere else. And so once my boyfriend realized this, he called. They offered us a few nights stay if we would go to a timeshare meeting. So that was what like started this Florida trip, is that we kind of based it around that meeting, that we were going to make sure we did that while we were there. I mean, we can sit through a couple hours of a timeshare meeting, right? We weren't planning on buying a timeshare. We'll just go down there. We'll sit through it. Sorry, I keep looking down. I've got my mirror here. You know, we'll sacrifice a couple hours to be able to stay for free, basically, was the thought process. Well, let's backtrack a little bit. So when we got down there, we spent the first few days at his daughter's place, I think. Is that what we did? And then the last part of the trip was spent at the Holiday Inn. That way we could be there for this timeshare meeting. So we had a really good time. We decided to book a bioluminescent kayak tour while we were there, and never done anything like that before. I'm not exactly an adventurous, outdoorsy person anymore. I used to really like that kind of stuff when I was younger. I've been in a kayak before. I, thought we can handle this. Like, how hard is it to kayak? It was like a group of couples and a tour guide, I think on the Banana River in Florida. And it was at dark, because you're supposed to be able to see the bioluminescent coolness. And what it is it's algae that is basically fluorescent. It glows in the dark. It's really neat. Anyway, I was all excited. We were all excited until we got in that fucking kayak. Okay? Pardon my language, but let me tell you, I thought we were going to die. I hadn't been kayaking since I was probably a teenager. And on the website, it says, for experienced, I forget how they worded it, but basically, you should have experience with a kayak before going on this tour. It was a tandem kayak, which means it was for two people. So my partner is a lot taller than I am. He is 6'5", I am 5'3". First of all, getting him to fit in this kayak was comical enough because his legs are so long. So he sat in the back and I sat in the front. And they made us do this short little, stand behind each other like on the ground and make sure you guys can stay in sync with the paddles, and this is how you kayak. And it was all of like 30 seconds. It felt like that's how you do it, okay? And then just follow the guide. So I was like, yeah, how hard can this be? I'm pretty sure that the guide and all the other couples wanted to strangle us because we were about a mile behind them. Let me continue on while I'm telling this story. So I've done the concealer. Let's move on to my ModCon Liquid Contour from KVD. I've got mine in Fair Cool 90. It's the perfect shade for my skin tone. I love this stuff. It's good stuff. We get in this kayak and there's probably there was like 3 other couples, maybe 4. They obviously had experience, okay? Obviously. We get in there and we start trying to catch, I think we were the last couple in, and we start trying to catch up with the rest of the crew, and we just start spinning in circles. We couldn't get our paddles in sync. Like, his arms are longer. One of us is digging too deep. I just know that we were not experienced enough for this excursion, and we were getting very frustrated super quickly. Again, it's dark outside. This is like 8, 9 o'clock at night. We're in a body of water and we're not super comfortable with what's happening right now. We're spinning in circles and we're both getting really stressed out. Like, I was to the point in the beginning where I was ready to jump out of this kayak and swim my way back to shore. Like, it was getting that frustrating. And I think he was feeling the same way. Finally, he's like, we got this. Let's just do this. So we finally catch up with the guide. We decided that one of us paddling was better than both because we couldn't stay in sync, and that was fine. I just didn't want to hold everybody else up. I felt so bad because it's a tour, they're waiting on us. So finally, I tell him, I'm like, just let me paddle because I'm up front. And so I'm kind of steering since I'm up front. So I'm like, just let me paddle. So finally I get into a rhythm to where I can get us up and caught back up with the guide. My partner, again, his legs are long. So there's a bar about midway through the kayak that he's trying to fit his legs under, but he can't because his legs are so long. So he's cramped. His legs are cramping. He's uncomfortable. We're stressed out because we're still not doing a great job. We finally get it to where we're doing okay-ish, right? And the other couples are like cheering us on, like, yeah, you got it. You're doing good. Yeah, you got this. Every time we would try to paddle together, we would just spin in circles. So that was not a thing. We were not able to paddle both at the same time. So it was either him or me, which when you're paddling for 2 in a kayak, it is exhausting. And for whatever reason, for the longest time, anytime I do anything cardio related, I have heart palpitations. If it's extreme or intense cardio, I have heart palpitations. So more towards the end of this excursion, I start having heart palpitations because I'm the one up front and I'm the one that's mainly paddling at this point, just because otherwise we would spin in circles. And from the back, it's hard to steer because you're paddling from behind. And he's behind. So that's what this excursion was like. It was very stressful. I know he was really stressed out and felt bad because I'm trying to paddle for both of us. And so we did get to see some bioluminescence, which was really cool. I wanted to be able to take pictures and to film a little bit of it, but there was no fucking way when we just kept spinning in circles. There was no way I was going to be able to take pictures, and it wasn't as pronounced as what they show you on the website, where it's like super neon green and you're like, ooh, like you could see it, but you kind of had to work to see it. You had to put your paddle in the water and really stir it up, and then it would like kind of float to the surface. It was really neat though. Like I say now, well, we both say that we would never do that again, but I don't regret doing it. What's really funny about this, does that look good? Like, isn't that beautiful? I've heard a lot of people say they don't like this product, that it picks up their base products, but I'm not having that experience. I think it looks beautiful. So mind you, we are in Florida, okay? And we're on a river in Florida. And it never really crossed my mind at the time that there's alligators in those bodies of water. And there was a point in our excursion where I thought I saw like glowing eyes. And for a minute, it kind of made me think that it was a gator. And I was like, oh, they wouldn't take us on a tour where there's alligators. Am I stupid? Like, of course there's gators in that body of water. It's Florida. Looking back, I'm just glad that I didn't come face to face with one, because when I tell you I would have absolutely flipped my shit, I would have had a serious panic attack. So I'm just glad that that didn't happen, and that we made it out alive, because I thought at one point we were going to tip the boat. I thought I was going to have a heart attack because I kept having heart palpitations. Like, it was a whole thing. It was very stressful. You know, we're both soaking wet by the time we get out of that thing because we're splashing everywhere, and oh boy, that guide, I know he was frustrated. Oh, but we did our best, you know, and wouldn't do it again. Like, I'm glad we did it, but I wouldn't do it again. It was way too stressful, but it was an experience to say the least. So we did that while we were there. We ate a lot of good food. We ended up going to Indian Rocks Beach, which is where we had gone before when we visited down there. And it's a really laid back beach. Like, it's not super crowded, and it's just kind of quiet. It's just chill. So we ended up going there, had a really good time. And then when we were done staying there, we went to the Holiday Inn for the rest of the trip, so we could make it to the timeshare meeting. Okay, so first and foremost, I'm noticing the under eyes. I was a little nervous that that was going to happen. So the Estee Lauder Double Wear concealer is super heavy, in my humble opinion. And even mixing it with the NARS Radiant Creamy, it just, I don't know if you can really see it. It's really heavy and dry. And I'm also concerned it's because it went over top of that Yinza corrector. This just is not as creamy as the Becca Under Eye. So I think I'm going to attempt to put I know this is a mistake, but I'm going to do it anyway because that's kind of what I do. I'm going to put a little bit more of the NARS underneath both eyes. Maybe that'll help. I don't know. Okay, so back to my story here. So we go down to the Holiday Inn. We got down there. Wait a minute. Was that the beginning of our trip or the end of our trip? Now I'm all confused. That didn't do me any favors. Nope. It doesn't matter at this point. We're just going to have to move along. So maybe it was the other way around. Maybe we were... God, I can't remember. Isn't that terrible? Okay, I was confused. We went to the Holiday Inn first, and then we drove back and stayed at his daughter's for a few days. Anyway, it doesn't really matter. So the Holiday Inn timeshare meeting. So the Holiday Inn that we stayed at was nice, right? It's right, where was it? Cape Canaveral is where it was. And the Holiday Inn is right across the street from like the bigger resort. Of course, they're trying to lure you in. They want you to buy a timeshare to be able to enjoy this other resort. So the Holiday Inn that we stayed in was probably about a half-mile walk to the actual beach, which was fine. Whatever, I didn't care. We had a good time there, we really did. But we got suckered. We got suckered into a timeshare, and it's so funny. Let me move on to the next step in my routine first and foremost. I had pulled the e.l.f. was it Berry Well? Yes, the Berry Well liquid blush. So I'm going to use that. I think what I'm going to do is just dab some of this out on the back of my hand, because when I tell you this stuff is super pigmented, like, that is probably enough to do both cheeks. No shit. It's very pigmented. So we're going to start off small and then work our way up here. So anyway, I think our timeshare meeting was on a Monday. It's funny because my partner and I had talked about this prior. And we're like, you know what? We have zero interest in buying a timeshare. That's not why we're going down here. It was a way to stay there for free, okay? Call a spade, that's what it was. So we get to this timeshare meeting. And I'd never been to one before. He had gone to them, when he was younger, listened to the 2-hour spiel, and then went about his business, right? Well, I don't know if the agent that was giving his little presentation to us was just that good, or I'm not really sure. I think that's what it was. Or the way he sold it or whatever. We ended up buying a timeshare. The way that they do it with the Holiday Inn Vacation Club is in points. You purchase a package of points that you can use, and based on what time of year you're going and like how many rooms you're looking for, the resort that you're trying to go to is how many points you're going to spend, right? So we ended up purchasing like 50,000 points, which is probably one of the lowest packages that you can purchase. So that's what we ended up doing. And every year you get 50,000 points that you can spend on a vacation. The way he and I justified it was, like, we're going to go on vacations anyway. That's kind of what we do. We love to travel and see new things and do new things. And with this timeshare, you don't have to go to just one of the resorts. Like, you have a home resort that your points come from, but you can go to any of them in this network. And there's a ton. So we kind of looked at it like it was an opportunity to go places that maybe we wouldn't go. You can save your points up. You have 2 years to use your points. Your points roll over to the next year, and at the end of that year, your points from the prior year expire. So if we wanted to do something really crazy or that took a lot of points, something out of the country, something like that, we could always save our points 1 year and go somewhere a little more extravagant the following year. So that's kind of what our thought process was with that. Like, we're going to spend money on vacations and stuff anyway, so why not just do this? So that's what we did. I'm not going to say I regret it, but I don't think we fully understood all of it until we got home, and we're a little bit more grounded and looking into what it was that this timeshare entailed. So I'll have to get on here in the future and let you know, like, where we decide to go and if it's worth it and whatever. You are able to sell it. You can either sell it back to Holiday Inn, once it's paid for, of course, if like you don't want it anymore, because there's still maintenance fees and stuff that you have to pay every year, even once you've paid for the actual timeshare itself. So, we didn't pay a ton of money for it. I'll let you know. We'll let you know in the future if we think that it was worth it. So anyway, we haven't actually booked a vacation yet with those points. I'm not really sure what we're going to do, but I have never been out of the country, and I've never been to like Mexico. There's a handful of places like that you can go that I would really love to go. They also give you the opportunity to book like last minute reservations through RCI, and they're at a super discounted rate. I'm really excited to see what kind of benefit we can get from it, but I just think it's funny how adamant we were that we were not purchasing a timeshare, and then we ended up purchasing a timeshare. It's just not your traditional timeshare, and that's kind of what we thought it was going to be like. So it's not. It's different because it's done with points. I mean, I think it's beautiful, Not to toot my own horn, but I think it's looking pretty good so far. I feel like I have cat hair on me, but, I always have cat hair on me, so nothing new. God, these under eyes, though, they're looking pretty horrific. I am not going to be able to use either of these for the under eyes. There's no way. It's going to make it look so much worse. So, pardon me, I am going to get some of my Huda Beauty Easy Bake Setting Powder for the under eyes, and then we'll set the rest of my face with one or both of these. I'm just concerned. Very lightly. Gonna set them under eyes, boy. And then I almost went in and set the rest of my face with my Easy Bake just because it's such a habit, but we're not doing that. Not doing that today. Again, this one has a peach hue to it. So, a little nervous. I mean, it's been a very eventful... Let's see what happens. Oh, I mean, okay. It's been a very eventful 6, 7, 8 months, however long it's been. It really has. A lot has happened. Okay, so I'm going to attempt to maybe just sweep this on. I don't know. I don't really have any experience with this stuff, but I feel like it's a little heavy. That Dior powder that I pulled is glowy. So I kind of like that, but I need to set my face. Like I need I need something to set this, or it's not going to wear very long. So I have 4 batteries that I film with, and all but one of them was dead when I started filming. So I've been trying to charge the batteries while I'm filming this on, and filming with the one good battery. And I've got 1 bar right now on the battery that I was filming, or that I was charging. So this is going to be interesting. I can't see that it's going to last very long. I'm just going to have to dab, like, very lightly, because I don't want to jack this up. I just don't know how I feel about this setting powder. It's different. It's not the same as the loose powder. In my opinion, it's just not the same. So, what else? What else is there to gab about? Like I said, I made a list. As I mentioned, we like to take trips, right? It's kind of what we do. We like to travel. We like to experience new things. So, normally for my birthday, which is November 1st, we go to a cabin that's out in the middle of nowhere in West Virginia. It's quiet. It's just an opportunity for us to kind of unplug. And, well, not really unplug because we usually watch movies and stuff. Regardless, it's an opportunity for us to be out where it's quiet, no distractions, just the 2 of us, me and my partner, and, little nice little birthday getaway. This year, I thought, why don't we try something at least a little bit different, Well, we were looking on, was it VRBO again? Or did we look on Airbnb? It might have been on Airbnb, I can't remember. Anyway, we came across a tiny home that was made out of a grain bin. I'm going to insert some pictures of that as well so you can see, because it is just so freaking cool. But anyway, I was so excited. I'm going to go in with the Dior powder no powder now. I'm just going to sweep this around and see what happens. We saw it and I got excited about it, and I told my partner, I was like, what do you think about doing this? And he's like, really? Is that what you want to do? And I was like, screw it, why not? Like, it's a different experience. We've never done this before. And, try something different. So it was really neat. I thought it was going to be way too small. I didn't think it was going to be too small. I was concerned because it's made out of a grain bin, which they're not very big. But they found a way to maximize the space in this bin. That way it didn't really feel so small. It was really neat. So the whole theme was very farm, country, It had like saw blades around the lights inside and a big metal, like industrial looking fan on the top. It was just really, really neat. It was cold as shit. Again, my birthday's in November, so super stinking cold. But it stayed really warm inside the bin. I was surprised. I was concerned we were going to get cold. So this is where we are so far with the makeup. I'm super pleased with it. I think it looks fantastic. Let's take the Fenty Beauty into Sun and just warm up a little bit. I really don't even need it. But you know me, I can't just stop it, We can't half-ass it with the bronzer or with the blush. We gotta be just a little extra. But yeah, we ended up staying there, I think for was it 3 nights or 4 nights? And it was just nice. Just get away and be out in the middle of freaking nowhere, where it was quiet, no distractions, in a tiny home grain bin. Very cool. I would absolutely do it again. Okay, now I'm going to take the MAC Love Thing blush and just very lightly go over top. I don't want it to get too crazy looking, but beautiful blush, and I like the berry tones, especially with the green shirt, and I'm going to do a green eye look, so... Oh, I have to tell you all this. I know you've heard me rave about the Morphe Jaclyn Hill blush brush. They don't make these anymore, and I bought, extras. Where did I buy it from? I can't remember. Anyway, they're all falling apart, okay? This one doesn't look too terrible, but they're all falling apart and breaking off because they're older, and I've used them a ton. So someone had recommended me the Senj Beauty blush brush, and see the size difference. It's just a lot smaller than the one, the Jaclyn Hill Morphe brush. I like this because of how floofy it is, and it really does a good job at dispersing blush and not having it so concentrated because it's not super dense up top. It's fluffy. Anyway, Morphe came out with a new blush brush that looks identical in shape. This is the same freaking brush. This used to look like this, okay? But we've lost some bristles along the way. This is the M201 powder blush brush, and I love it. I even bought a backup of it already. It is perfect. It's exactly what I was looking for. So if you also love the Morphe Jaclyn Hill blush brush and are sad that they no longer make that, they do have the M201 and it is almost identical. It's almost the same thing. So you're welcome. All right, going into Love Thing by MAC. I haven't used these a ton just because I have so many blushes, so. But look at that. That's what I was looking for. Perfect. Okay, we're going to leave that there. I don't want it to get too crazy. You know what? I had pulled the Nudegasm face palette from Charlotte Tilbury, and I didn't use any of it. I didn't need to because I had Fenty, and I don't want to get too crazy with it. I feel like I've got plenty of bronzer, and, you know, I've got the Mod Con liquid contour on underneath, so we're gonna skip this today. I'm not going to use that. I pulled two highlighters, the Star Surfer and Ray Ryder from Kaleidos. Again, this one's got that more iridescent pink to it. And then Ray Ryder is like a champagne color. I think with the eye look that I'm going for, I'm gonna stick with Ray Ryder just because it's a little more neutral. So let's do that. Okay, what else? Oh, my middle child got engaged on Christmas Day, which is big news. He told me ahead of time that he was thinking about it, and listen, I just want my kids to be happy. He's young, okay? He is 19 going on 20, so he's young. But at the end of the day, I just want my kids to be happy. And if that's what makes him happy, you know, he's out on his own and doing his own thing and supports himself. So do you, boo, you know? But really happy for him. Him and his girl have been together for a little while now. So yeah, just it's just crazy, you know, that my kids are old enough to be doing that. So didn't see that on my bingo card for 2025, but here we are. My babies are growing up. My youngest is 17. She'll be 18 in May. Like, I have a hard time wrapping my brain around that. She's been on my channel here before. Actually, I just got done talking to her a few minutes ago and told her we need to do an updated video now that she's much older, you know? Because the last time she did a video with me, I think she was like 12. It's time for an update. What do you guys think? And then my oldest is in pharmacy school. And he's about halfway through his pharmacy school. So it's just crazy. So next, eyes. I need to get my eyebrows on because they're looking sad. So let me get the brows on. I usually use the same products. Actually, it might be different now that I haven't, you know, been filming. I'm not going to keep you here for that process just because it's kind of redundant and it does take me a little while, about 15 minutes to get brows on. So very quickly, I'll just tell you what I'm using. Gimme Brow from Benefit. I've been using this on my brows for probably the last 6 years. This is something that's a staple product in my routine. I continue to repurchase. I try to buy it on sale because these are expensive. But anyway, using that as like a base. And then I go over top with the Huda Beauty Balm Brows. I only started using this consistently when I found them on the Ipsy website at a stupid discount. I think I got these for like $6 a piece, maybe even cheaper than that at one point. I can't remember, but I bought a bunch of them. Then I go in with the Milani Weekend Brow to give the hair strokes. That's the brow routine. So let me get those on. When I come back, we'll get into the eyeshadow. As I showed you in the beginning, I pulled like probably 6 months ago or more, the Anastasia Beverly Hills Sultry. This is an old school ABH palette. Very old, okay? I'm a hoarder. I don't want to get rid of my eyeshadow palettes because I love them. They're pretty to look at. I like having a big collection of them. One day we'll go through them and I'll show them to you, and maybe I'll declutter, but that's not happening today. The Gourmand Girls Nightshade, such a beautiful, stunning purple and green color story. I love that. And then Blend Bunny Cosmetics Sugar and Grunge. I haven't gotten any use out of, well, the ABH palette I've used a ton. It's an older palette, but not recently. The Blend Bunny Sugar and Grunge I've probably used twice. The Gourmand Girls I think I used once. And then we have the ColourPop How the Grinch Stole Christmas. Never used. So between these four palettes, we're coming up with a green eye look. I like the shimmery green shade in this palette. This one's called, is it Hellebore? Like, look at that. It's rich and beautiful. But I also like the green metallic that's in the Sugar and Grunge. Like, it's just got a richness to it, you know? And it goes better with my shirt. Not that it matters. I'm not going anywhere or doing anything, but, or maybe I'll do both. I'm not sure yet. We're going to build up. I'm thinking maybe we should start with the Sultry and pick a neutral shade to build in my crease. Maybe we'll start with like this shade here twig and just start building out the crease. Should I do twig or birch? Birch is this warmer, like camel brown. Let's do birch. I might even do birch and fresh. We might dip back and forth in between those two. Let's do that. I'm excited. But while I'm doing this, I want to also continue to talk about the happenings in my life over the last 7 months or so. We just got past Christmas, something that's really sad that happened that I just don't want to go into too much detail about because it's hard to talk about and because it's really personal, but my partner lost his mother shortly after Christmas, like last week. Again, I don't want to go into great detail about this just because it's fresh and just for privacy reasons, you know what I mean? And respecting his privacy. But it's been really, really difficult. I want to say that. And unexpected. We found out she was really sick a couple months ago. And it's just been a whirlwind the past couple of months. And, yeah, like I don't even know what really to say about it other than his family. I'm going to try not to get emotional, especially since I'm about to do my eyeshadow. His family is very family oriented and they're very warm, loving, inviting people. And from day one, from the very first time that I met her, like I said, I'm going into birch and fresh. I'm going to dip back and forth for my crease. The very first time I met her, she was nothing but kind to me and pretty much accepted me as family from day one. So just in the short, I say short, but my partner and I have been together almost 3 years, and just in that time frame, I just feel like I'm part of their family, his entire family. They're all that way. Very friendly, inviting, and she always treated me like that. And, holidays, get-togethers, whatever, everyone's always over at their house. She would cook, kind of host, and I just want to say briefly again, I don't want to go into great detail, but loved by a lot of people. I loved her. This was a major blow to our family, and it's just been hard. It's been really difficult, and trying to help my partner deal with it. It's him and his mom were close, and it's just a major blow to our family. So that's something that we've been dealing with, something that's happened recently, and it sucks. So I'm not telling you this for sympathy. I'm just going over my life happenings over the last 6-7 months. So that's, something that I wanted to note. So we had a nice Christmas. So my partner got me an espresso machine because I have been not only watching espresso videos on YouTube, but I was buying a lot of Starbucks drinks there, a few months ago, and I had told him I was considering purchasing an espresso machine. The very well-known name brand ones are super expensive. And, that's one of the reasons why I kind of hesitated on buying one, because I didn't even know if I was going to like making the drinks or whatever. So anyway, he ended up buying me one for Christmas, and when I tell you, I hate saying I'm obsessed with something, but I am obsessed with this espresso machine. I love being able to make my own drinks and experimenting with it. I love having it here that I can just, I don't have to go to Starbucks or anywhere fancy to get a good latte or whatever. Like it's so good. I'm going to insert a little video of me making one so you could see what I mean. Like, I love it. It's awesome. So very cool gift. I'm still learning. Okay. I'm not a barista. Never worked in a coffee shop. There's definitely a learning curve with this. Thoroughly recommend these beans. Also, freshness of beans matter. The grind matters. There's so many things that matter that I had no clue about until I recently started watching a lot of YouTube videos about espresso. And then, of course, until I got my own machine and have been troubleshooting. So I'm going to make one now because it's delicious and because I can. Beautiful. I just didn't realize there was so many different variables when it came to making espresso. I didn't have a clue. The beans, the grind, the freshness, everything matters. So I'm still learning. There's definitely a learning curve there. But I have it down well enough right now that at least I can make a good espresso, good enough for me. Like, it doesn't have to be fancy or perfect. You know what I mean? It works for me. I love it. So, and my daughter loves it because she likes making drinks as well. So that gift has been a hit. If you're someone that loves those types of drinks and you've been questioning whether or not you would like having one at home, again, if you already buy a lot of Starbucks or drinks at Dunkin' or whatever, highly recommend. It'll save you money in the long run. Anyway, like I said before, this eyeshadow palette is super old and it's applying very well. I forgot to tell you, I used the NARS Smudge Proof eyeshadow base in light. They don't have this anymore. They discontinued it. Makes me very sad because I love this. It's my favorite. And I'm going to use it until it's totally gone. Something else that he got me was an aura frame, which I love looking at like older pictures and whatnot. I didn't tell him that was something I wanted. He saw it and thought I would like it. And spot on. I love it. So yeah, he did a good job with the gifts. We usually don't buy each other a ton of gifts. Like in the past, we really haven't. But for whatever reason this year, we both, kind of treated each other a little bit, and it was nice. It was nice. I feel like as a family, we had a pretty decent Christmas, aside from the obvious. I'm kind of glad it's over, I'm not gonna lie. I work in a grocery store, so Christmas time is hella stressful, just because that's when we're the busiest, is right around the holidays. People baking and having turkeys and hams and all that shit, so I'm glad it's over. Now we can get back to normal life a little bit. Something else that happened is I got transferred to a different store. I got transferred from a very high volume store to a very low volume store. And it's been a little jarring, I'm not gonna lie. I'm used to being in the chaos all the time. Let's go into, while I'm talking about this, I need to start building up on the outer corner of my eye. I don't have any greens in the ColourPop palette. I do have this extremely dark green in this palette called GRWM, but I don't know if I want something that dark. Okay, what I'm going to do is I'm going to pack Birch just on the outer edge, and I'm going to deepen up, I think, with GRWM. This super dark, it's almost black, but it's got a green tinge to it. That's what I'm going to do. So yeah, I found out week before last that I was getting transferred. I found out on like a Tuesday or the beginning of the week. I was at that store for 5 years, which is a long time, and with my company to be at a store. Normally they like to shift us around a little bit. Usually anyway. Sometimes people get stuck in the same store for a while, but for the most part, they like to kind of shift us around. It kind of keeps your perspectives fresh, Plus, when you're stuck at the same store for a long time, you kind of grow bonds with people, and that's not necessarily a bad thing, but I do think it's important in terms of kind of keeping things fresh to move you around a little bit. Different challenges, different people. You can learn different things, work under different, managers and whatnot. And while I'm extremely sad because I was really close with my team, I felt like they were a second family. I think it was time. It was time for me to move on. And again, the store that I came from was very, very busy. You're constantly kind of putting out fires, the chaos, the stress, all of it. When you do that for so long, there's just not much opportunity to do anything else other than those things. And I really wanted to learn new roles and have the opportunity to do things outside the store, and I couldn't do that in this bigger store. So I'm hoping that's why I got moved to a lower volume store, so I would have the opportunity to do other things. But I'm really going to use it as an opportunity to do those things. So that's the goal. I got transferred to a much smaller volume store. I'm going to use that time to learn the rest of the store because eventually I would like to be a store manager. Right now I'm an assistant, but I'm going to use that as an opportunity to learn and grow. I'm kind of excited about it. I'm shell shocked because it's just way different. way different. Not necessarily bad, different, just different, you know? Like I said, this year has been a lot. There's been a lot that's happened, and good and bad. I'm kind of glad that we're on to 2026, and I'm hoping good things this year. So, at least going forward, because it didn't start out great, you know? Okay, so we have the bass down. I'm going to go into GarageBand, which again is this really dark. Ooh. Does it even look green? I mean, barely. It's dark, dark. We got to be super careful with that. Oh boy. So as I've said before, I really don't watch, I know this is like switching topics again, but I really don't watch a lot of makeup content anymore. I don't want to be influenced to buy things because I'm trying not to buy things. So I don't watch a whole lot of beauty YouTubers anymore. Every once in a while I will if I'm looking to buy some new makeup, but I just don't do that much anymore. So I've been watching, it's so funny how my the videos that I watch has changed, like the type of content. So here lately, oh, I love that. That's actually perfect for what I'm going for. I don't know what it is. When I started doing the whole espresso thing and making my own drinks and whatnot, I got really into watching that type of content. It's actually really calming. Watching them make drinks, and I don't know, man. I've watched quite a few of those just to see how they do it, because I'm the type of person where if I'm learning how to do something, I want to do it well. So I've watched quite a few of those. Ooh, that looks good. These are blending so nicely. So I've watched that. And for whatever reason, I've had a lot of like baking and cooking content on my feed. I'm trying to get away from the true crime. That cannot be healthy to watch true crime to the extent that I watch it. Like, that was kind of like all I was watching there for a while. That can't be healthy at all. So I'm trying to distance myself from the true crime content. And I'm not going to say I don't watch it ever, because I still do. I just find it fascinating. I guess there's something wrong with me. I don't know. But I find it fascinating. I still watch it sometimes. But I'm trying to switch it up at least a little bit. And I watch the espresso making stuff. And I watch, oh my gosh, watching people decorate cakes is so satisfying. I don't know what it is about it. But now I'm at the point where I kind of want to buy my own cake decorating kit, because I don't know who I think I am. But I haven't done it yet because I'm like, okay, it's one thing to watch people doing it. It's another thing to do it yourself. So I haven't. But it sure looks like fun. I don't think I'd be any good at it, but it might be fun. It is patching a little bit when I try to build it on the outer corner, but it doesn't matter because I'm going to put a shimmer on the lid anyway. My tastes have changed a little bit in terms of content and what I like to watch. The older I get, you know, the more I turn into Susie fucking Homemaker, I guess. Watching people bake bread and shit, like, I guess I'm old now. I just can't relate to the out of touch beauty influencers. I know you guys probably have at least a few people that pop in mind when I say that. I just can't relate to those people or that kind of content. So I don't consume that kind of content anymore. More my speed. I'm going to finish blending this because it's going to take me forever. I'm going to finish blending this, and when I come back, we'll slap the shimmers on the lid, and then we'll wrap this up because it's still going to be a long video. It's still me you're watching. Okay, so I decided against using the ColourPop palette. I was considering using this green, and it's just not rich enough for the look that I'm going for. So what I'm going to do instead, I'm going to take the green from the Nightshade palette called Hellebore, I think. This really beautiful shimmery green here, and then I'm going to top it off, more than likely, with the green down here in the Blend Bunny Search palette. I think that's what I want to do. So that's what we're going to do. I debated whether I should put down like a glitter primer or something. I don't think I'm going to need it. There it is. Oh, I love that. Oh boy, do I want to put the other one on top? I think this is the first time I've used this green. It's so pretty. All right, I think what I'm going to start doing, in case I don't like it, we're going to take that deeper green from the Sugar and Grunge, because it is a little deeper. And I'm going to pack it on the outer corner first. That way if I hate it, I just won't drag it all the way in. But it's a little bit more like shimmery, but it's definitely grungier, so... Can you tell? I think that needs to go all over. Look at that. It's definitely sparklier. You see it? Okay, I'm going to repeat that on the other side. See, it's just fun. Like, I miss this aspect of makeup, just having fun and playing. Yep, yes indeed. I'm going to take some of those deeper colors, smoke them out on the lower lash line. I'm going to find something for the inner corner. What can I use for the inner corner? Can I use something from the ColourPop palette? Let me see. They do have this iridescent green. I mean, that's beautiful. I think that's what we're doing. So I found a way to use it after all. Do you guys still like colorful eye looks? I feel like they're not as popular as they once were. Like, when I first really got into makeup, that's what was the loud, colorful looks, the artistic eye looks, right? And there's just not a lot of people doing eyeshadow anymore. At least not that I've seen. I'm going to hop off camera. I'm going to smoke those colors out on the lower lash line. We'll put some mascara on. I'll maybe throw some gloss on the lip, and then we'll wrap this up. Okay, so I wanted to show you this really quickly. This is the difference between no mascara and the e.l.f. lash extender. So obviously I purchased this on my own. They didn't send this to me, okay, because I'm not even filming like that to get PR, but I wanted to show you the difference this mascara makes, okay? It's amazing. It's good. It's great. Anyway, I'm going to finish the other eye. I put the e.l.f. lash extender on the tops and bottoms, smoked out those colors on the lower lash line, and then I added the Milani Fruit Fetish Lip Oil in Cranberry Currant. I love these Milani lip oils. They're so good. They smell good. They taste good. They look good. They feel good on the lips. So anyway, I love this look. I love the green. It's just it's very me. So I had a lot of fun playing and shopping my stash with you guys and just having a little bit of fun with makeup because I really don't get to do that much anymore. And I'm hoping going forward I will, I really want to continue filming and uploading to this channel. Otherwise, there's no sense in having a channel, So, as I've said before, I really miss you all. Please leave me some feedback in the comments down below. Let me know what's been up with you all. Are you still watching makeup content? What kind of makeup are you loving right now? Are you still using eyeshadow? Would anybody like to see me continue to use palettes that are in my collection? Because I'm not buying any more eyeshadow. I've got probably 200 palettes right now. That's more than any one person ever needs. So anyhow, that's going to conclude this video. Thank you all so much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already. You might see a video from me in the future. You just never know. It's very inconsistent over here. But I do appreciate you hanging out. Thanks again. I'll see you all in the next video. Bye.